Streamelements said the busy builder is now live, streaming miniatures.
Hello. Gonna be starting out with an oil wash, and then we'll move on to some other stuffs. How's everybody's week going so far? My next day off won't be till Monday. And starting Friday, it's supposed to snow until Monday. Great.
G Davos said wasn't expecting you today.
Well, last stream I said I'd try and be on around midweek. because I'm not off again until next Monday. So that's a 6-day blow. I gotta keep you guys coming back, right? Oh, I won't. Because knowing my luck, it'll snow overnight before I've got to go to work.
09G Davos said Camoflake scheme turned out well.
It's one of my better ones. It's nice and tight. Just trying to get enough wash down in the grill to kind of get the vents. So when I clean it off, the vents will show through a little bit. At least that's what I hope. So how's your week been so far? And this thing has to be the most elusive version of the LAV out there, because I can't find anything for information. I'm trying to find just even a picture of the hand control for the crane, because it is a wired-in remote control box. So they could be standing outside it, they could be standing on top of it. Can't even find a picture of that. Can't even find a picture of it in use. Maybe I should search Canadian Grizzly recovery. Maybe that would do it. You guys enjoying your catnip? And I kind of did something stupid last night, but for 24 bucks I couldn't pass it up. I found the Hobby Boss LAV R. Full interior, everything. I'm like, yeah, it's too good to pass up. I know. Poor impulse control. But I was able to put 200 towards the other project, so over the amount that I estimated, so I rewarded myself. Oh, you want to play fetch? You want fetch? Go get it. But the 251 half track should be here Saturday. And I think I thought of something I can print out for this. You know those plastic traffic barriers? Usually orange and white. Well, they get filled with water, and when they're full of water, they need something a little bit bigger to move them. So I might print a few of those out and just for on the display base, have it lifting one. You ready again? Okay. Good boy. Go get it.
O9G Davos said, wouldn't they just drain the water?
If you're gonna store them, yeah, but if you're gonna move them around, wouldn't it be, depending on how you look at it, is it worth the effort to drain them and refill them, or just get something big in to move them around a little bit? That doesn't matter. Or they might be filled with sand, depending on who's doing what with them. And if they're filled with sand, you're sure as hell not draining that out quick. What, Frankie? I'm trying to do a stream here, bud. You always want to play fetch when I'm streaming. Come here.
O9G Davos said, if at all, if it's wet.
Oh, there we go. This big boy wants to play fetch all the time. Yeah. Hi. Down you go. Where's your puff? There's your puff. Go get it. Brought it back already? Okay. Doop. And they're heavy enough to move even when they've only got a little water. Hooray! The cavalry has arrived. Now the real question is he going to disappear? He always disappears. Frankie! I know. Just if I don't play fetch with him, he'll jump up on the table. And he's twice the size of Allie. Not exactly something I want on the table. Buddy, I gotta do this, okay? We'll fetch later, okay? During dinner. Go have some catnip with Allie. What? No. No. Hard to believe he's the kitten from 2 years ago that fit in the palm of my hand.
RS_studio said he says fetch me out.
Yep. Okay, why did the AI voice put such a suggestive sound on that meow? Type meow again. Where is it? I can't reach it. It's over there.
RS_studio said meow.
She's like, meow.
RS_studio said meow.
Okay, that's enough. Didn't we try and get her to say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious and she had a... And she had kind of like a seizure. Yeah, I sized that up pretty decently.
Horace_Studios said you mean supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
You misspelled it, but yeah. Let me try. Oh, she got it right.
At the Busy Builder 4071 said supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Well, how about that? Or does that mean it learned? I'm waiting to paint this part aluminum. There's not a lot of detail on the crane. So is everybody else doing all right for midweek? It's Wednesday. Alright, we'll let that set up for a mo. Have a drink real quick. Frankie, you didn't bring either of your puffs over here. I can't throw them. I'll pet you. Yeah, you're a good boy, but unless you bring it close, I'm not getting it. I'm forgetting how I made this last time. Let me look at the other one real quick. 1 minute. My knees made about 10 different cracking noises when I got up. That was not fun. Still one of my favorite builds from this year. I need to move that down further. Ah.
At Leo2A7BK said hello busy.
Hey Alex.
Love the camo name.
How's it going? I'm trying to remember how I made this last time. The tires are printed resin, so I'm not worried about the glue sticking the plastic to it. I guess I don't need to be exact, I just have to make it look okay. I'm worried too much about the perfection of it. That works. And while we're waiting on the...
Spare wheels. Leopard 185BK said Kosovo started having spare road wheels on the front of the turret.
On those, I think they just welded a threaded rod to it and slapped it on with a bolt and or with a nut. actually. No, it was just strapped into place. Looks like they rested it against one of the towing shackle mounts, and then they just cargo strapped it into place or chained it into place. One of those Mercedes Scout vehicles would be neat, though. Waiting on the oil paint to dry a little bit, so we're gonna dirty up the chassis for the Bushmaster.
At Leo 2A7BK said they made mounts where the old sighting system is.
On top of the turret. Well, yeah, you said Kosovo. I was looking at Bosnia. That predates that.
At Leo 2A7BK said the side front corners.
Oh, yeah, where the old covers used to be for the binocular telescopic sight. The forecast isn't saying anything till Friday, but I swear we got something heading in tomorrow.
Leo2A7DK said our 1A5DKs went through about 3 upgrades while being in ex-Yugoslavia.
Yeah, that makes sense. I want to try and be on for at least 2 hours today. Work is starting to catch up to me. But I've been up... Honestly, I've probably been up since about 3:30 this morning. Not because of work, but I just kept waking up for some weird fucking reason. Kind of like how you wake up when you feel like the amount of sleep you're getting is suspicious. Okay, come on. Yeah, let's get a little you out of there if I can. Only to find out you still got 3 hours left before your alarm goes off. And you keep doing it over and over again until your alarm goes off. That's a bit better. Tone this one down a little too. So models on the way to us right now are the 251C half-track, the LAV C2, and Marine Corps AAV 7 Recovery with a full interior. That's looking a bit better. Still haven't painted the seats on that. Maybe we'll rectify that here in a second. I don't think anyone's ever going to pick this thing up, but in case somebody does.
At Pirate 1980 said evening buddy from Atlanta, Georgia.
How you doing, Pirate? Welcome to the channel. Hope you're doing well. I hope everybody's having a good Wednesday and the work week isn't kicking anybody's butt too hard. Set that aside.
At 1980 said it's me, Kenneth.
Oh, hey, Kenneth.
I'm doing fantastic.
You changed your name. You should know that doing that to us old people confuses us. You shouldn't really do that. I'm kidding, by the way. Just being a smart aleck. Trying European dust a bit more than oiled earth, because I think the oiled earth is a bit too rich, too dark. Making sure it's traveling down into the tread.
At the model student 20 said hello, all salutations.
Hey, model student, how you doing? Was wondering when you'd show up. Still waiting for George to get here so we can do more bad English cartoon character voices. If he comes in.
The model student 20 said, well, thank you, was Mackin dog dinner, grinning face with sweat emoji.
What, are you in the doghouse? I know what you meant. You're feeding the pupper.
At the model student 20 said, bloody Leo. Face with tears of joy emoji.
I really like how these wheels turned out. I may have to put some feelers out on the interwebs, or on the forums that I know, and see if anybody could shed any light on what the controls for this thing look like.
At the model student 20 said, did y'all get snow? we're getting hammered tonight.
Well, you're on the eastern side of the country, aren't you? We got snow Sunday, but we're expecting more by Friday here. But yeah, you got that huge polar vortex moving down.
Student 20 asks cults print.
Yeah, these are the cults files. Actually, where did I put that? I printed out other tow bars at full size, but these are more for the Abrams. And I have found them mounted on one of these, but I wanted the particularly small one. So just using the picture I had, I sized it appropriately.
At the model, student 20 said Southern Ontario near Buffalo.
Yeah, you guys are getting that polar vortex smack dead on. Oh, and there's another solar event going on right now, so expect a really active aurora, if you can see it. We got almost 100% cloud cover here today. So, no go on the aurora again. Every time the cool nighttime atmospheric shit happens here, we can't ever see it. Q-tips. There we go, just enough to pluck out that detail on there. Autofocus is behaving today.
The model student 20 said we're right on the Lake Ontario, that is between two lakes. We get some bad stuff.
Oh yeah, you get that lake effect stuff going on. Let's see, autofocus, you gonna be nice again? There's the cast, or not the cast texture, the anti-slip texture that I put on. See, that's gonna grab the Q-tip. We're going to use a brush to blend this away up here. Okay, there's that.
At the model student 20 said every nook and cranny.
Well, not every nook and cranny. I'm not going to waste the effort on the lower hull because that's just going to be covered by dirt and stuff anyway. It's this whole other process. Excuse me. I'm really only doing the brush blending on the anti-slip surfaces because that'll just rip the Q-tip to shreds. Same with the photo etch here. I could try rolling it, but you kind of need to sweep it.
Leo2A7BK said 2A7BK also have tow bars on the rear along with extended plates for camo nails, side skirt screws and you name it. German one does not, yet.
I think it's because the Bundeswehr has they use that Barracuda system. Because if you look, there's panels all over it for it to be stuck to. Excuse me. Lacquer thinner. Almost got the wrong thinner. That. If you're wondering why this camera looks different, I just don't have the display case lights on behind me.
The model student 20 said hope.
Hope what? Sorry? Now, if I were to do another leopard in 16th scale, It would be a Canadian...
Student 20 said I didn't miss much grab dinner.
No, you didn't miss too much. We've only been on for 50 minutes, and I think by the time you came in it was only 30. Just shredding Q-tips is all we're really doing. No, if I were to do another Leopard in 16th, it would be the Canadian A6M with the bar armor. Because I'm a glutton for punishment. Actually, once I get this dull coated after we remove this, I think I'm gonna go grab a snack real quick. I haven't eaten since lunch.
At the model student 20 said rolling on the floor laughing emoji thumbs up emoji. The model student 20 said me neither, I was starving.
No, but if I do it, it's gonna be, you know, full RC. I mean, I guess I could take my existing Leopard 2A6 and just make it into that. Oop. Drop. I gotta stop yawning. I'm gonna put everybody else down for the night if I keep that up. Oh, model student, maybe you have resources I don't. Are you going to be making your Grizzly with the crane deployed, like I'm doing with this? If you are, we need to find out what the control box for it looks like. And I can't find anything about the LAV R, so... Let's see how this is drying. Sorry again, good lord.
Model student 20 said, yes sir, I am. I will look a boot to see.
No, just there might be stuff for Canadian online that is blocked to my access, you know. Not that there should really be anything secret about a crane, but... Alex! Thank you very much for that.
Alex tipped $30. Start of a new leopard bet. Ha ha.
Thank you very much for that. You want to see what your last one went toward? This is going to be a fun one. I'm trying to decide whether I should do the 251C or if I should do this next. Because this might be... No, this won't be here till after Monday. But thank you very much for that. I do appreciate that a lot.
Busy Builder send a link. At the Busy Builder 4071 send a link.
And it does have a full crew compartment. So Alex, did you follow the link on the YouTube page to do that, or did you go onto Twitch to do it? It still triggers the YouTube or the Twitch alert. I'm still surprised at how tight I got the pattern on this one. It almost looks like I used masks. If I hadn't painted it live, most people probably thought I'd used like masking putty or something.
Leo2A7BK said went to Twitch. Easier to tip you here.
Well, if you look at my profile, how it's got my links to Instagram and Twitch on there, I copied the one from Twitch over, and it apparently works. Somebody used it last time. So that same link exists here now, since YouTube's taking forever to monetize. I almost had 700 total hours watched for the year, and then it went down again, so... So it looks like the algorithm's watch history is catching up now.
Leo2A7BK said always had a thing for the AM tracks.
Mm-hmm. Me too. My brother used to have to get on him when he was in the Corps. He sent me pictures back in... 92? Just after his units, Amtrak's all got the upgrade to...
Student 20 said I looked the other day, but now I am really looking, and I can find a pic of every diddly-do bolted to an LAV except the crane. Infuriating.
Well, it's not even the crane itself, it's the control box. It's a remote control box. So, like, you could have the guy standing on top of it, or next to it, or whatever, and it's just a box with the wire coming out of it. I just want to know what the box looks like so I can scratch build something that looks close. But I can't even find information on what kind of crane it is to even look that up. I might have to look in my Jane's. It's out of date, but not too out of date for this. Oh yeah, that looks brilliant. I think this is the tightest I've painted camouflage yet. Come on, autofocus. Play nice today. Oh, now you don't want to work with me. It was working just fine a minute ago. There we go.
At the model student 20 said I've used a similar system sending drywall through a second-story window from crane trucks.
Yeah, but each company has their own crane that they have, or their own control unit for their cranes, you know? Like, you wouldn't have a high-ab control box on a Kubota. Yeah, that's just with the brush and the Mr. Surfacer 500. Alright. But I guess I could always buy the $30 texture paste just for non-slip. I was being a smart aleck too. Cleaning out the old airbrush.
At the model student 20 said I go with 3 joysticks, maybe a toggle and 2 joysticks probably. Order the texture paste and get 6 oil pads in a wash dish cleaner. 09G Davos said gotta head off. Catch y'all next time.
Alright, catch you later, Davos. Thanks for hanging out as long as you could.
Said night all.
If I had a logo, just for giggles, I'd make like 10 official-looking things up and see if they sell.
At the model student 20 said rolling on the floor lapping emoji.
So give me a minute. Like I said, I want to go grab a snack real quick and stand up, move around. I'm yawning a little too much. Alex! Thank you very much. Thanks again.
Alex tipped $30. Don't have to be. I get you. love being here.
You may have just bought figures to go with the 251 half track, but I'm gonna pause real quick and I'll be right back.
At the model student 20 said Alex. Goat, way to go bud.
Alright, I'm back. Speaking of Amtraks, here is the other one that I've done. Like I said, it has a full interior. The one that's on the way actually has all the hydraulic mechanisms inside it. And we're gonna have some chips. I hate eating on camera, but I'm really munchy.
At the model student 20 said nice. RS_Studios said, Lippy. Stream Elements said Builder is making lippy smacky noises. Hope you brought some for the rest of us.
Couple things to look out for if anyone else has this kit. Make sure that all your details for the lower hull, so all the inner walls, are fully seated down. If they're sitting up at all, they'll throw the fit way off. Also, leave these two little things here off until the very end, because these are the latches for the door. They have you put them on before you put the hull together. You'll end up snagging them left and right. Same thing with these straps for the fuel tank here, along the roof. And the same for the gun rack mechanism over here. At least I've always seen it used as a gun rack. I know it looks pretty barren. I'm trying to figure out what I can do to populate it. That closed on me. But even at regular price, this kit is well worth it. It normally goes for about 60 to 70. I found one for 24, so I'm like, mine. Really nice kit, though. Hi, Marbles. Okay. Now we're going to let that dry for a little bit longer, because I just felt everything shift on that. We're going to start plucking details on the LAV. Mama, come here. Ow. Where did those pliers? There they are. But I know it's an odd time, but thank you everybody for hanging out. My hand is too dry. I can't get a grip on the bottle. A little squirt of Windex. There we go. I like the contrast the NATO green has with this now, so I'm going to go with that for the fuel cans. Different enough without being too brown. Because anything else I have feels more like that British World War II olive drab. And the kit also had an option to file off the, wow, brain just went dead. The tray and the retaining belt for that, and replace it with photo etch ones. I just decided to stay with the plastic as it is. It's good enough for me. I should really be using a larger brush for this too. See if this one works out. I bought some new brushes the last time I was out. I thought I was getting a decent set of sables. The bristles are very raggedy out of the box, so I'm not too happy with them. So next time I can get my butt down to Hobby Lobby, I'm going to have to get another set of their orange or yellow handle brushes. Mama, you want pets now? Come here. Come on. No? Okay. You're being really snooty today, boy. He's probably jealous I gave the other guys catnip and he missed out. So I'll have to give him some nip. Just give me 1 minute, Marbles, okay? Yeah, we got this for the cats. Marmar. You want some Kitty Jane? Come here. There you go. Oh, here comes Frankie and Ellie. Where the fuck were you guys? Here you go. Actually, I could almost use that for grass and leaf debris in the mud. Come on. New idea unlocked. May or may not use it on this one though.
Also stone sniffing the tank.
I have the idea. Oh, you guys don't want any? Okay. Before I move from this house, I am seriously considering just planting catnip all throughout the backyard. Where did it go? There it is.
At the model student 20 said I monsigned an old friend who served and asked if you'd had any experience with said crane.
Nice. And we don't even have to know anything more than like the model number, you know?
The model student 20 said Valley of the Kidneys.
We got a lot of stray cats in the neighborhood, so I think if I did that, we would have a problem. I think mint has the same effect, so if you plant mint in your yard, you'll have cats coming around more often than not. Because I believe catnip is a member of the same family as mint. And silver. Frank's back in the donut. I put catnip in that cat donut yesterday, and at one point Allie had it rolling around the room. She had just going absolutely mental. know, I never really liked the look of this European mud color. I guess we'll go with it. The other one just feels too dark. That's more of a Russian earth. No, we'll go with the earth color. Hey, big guy. Hi, big boy. Hey, you. Yeah. Big cinnamon roll. Because I can always use the European dust to bring a bit more life to this earth color. And we're not going heavy with it. It doesn't get bogged down or anything. But it does sling, so it's going to get in all the nooks and crannies. And really all this is for is a base texture. Goes on pretty thin. But this is also why I didn't waste a lot of time putting a detail wash on the lower suspension. And while myself and Model Student are still looking for info, if anybody stumbles across this VOD and you have experience with these vehicles, chime in, let me know. I'd hate to be... I'd hate to have to wash one of these out after time out in the field during a training. And I know tanks are a pain in the ass, but I can only imagine having to get up under one of these and get in and around and behind and everything too. But I'm putting on just enough to give the idea of dirt, because I don't want to hide all the detail. I still want you to be able to make out the shocks and the struts and arms and stuff like that. But to me, if it's sterile, if if there's nothing to suggest an environment that it's in, it's kind of boring.
The model student 20 said I opened my Rayvale Unimog and it was effed up.
Oh, wow.
What it looked like on the cab. Had to return it and get lol.
I'm sorry to hear that. A little bit of splash up onto the trim vein here. We'll do more with the fluids, with flinging on that. I don't think I'm going to go as heavy on the dirt on the tires. Maybe I should. As I did on the other one. But I think on the others I had too much in the middle. I really just wanted on the very edge. And the way this stuff dries, you could almost, if you're patient and careful, you can rub it off if you put too much on. Just let it dry and kind of rub on it a little. It still has kind of an elasticity to it. Wash that out real quick.
At the model student 20 said whose mud is that? Vallejo? I
It-
exchanged it for a trumpeter 135th gas minus 39,371 heavy-duty armored van. It was $30 more damage. It will go good with the one I'm building now.
Yes, this is the Vallejo Diorama Effects Earth Texture. It doesn't hurt to mix it up periodically, keep it from drying out. It's the one thing these jars of paste have a bad habit of, is they'll dry up if you don't use them often enough. They're not terribly expensive though. I just wish they sold a smaller jar. Or if they do, I couldn't find it or didn't see it. But it's almost like the colorant mixed with Fuller's Earth or microballoons of a sort. Because you can feel kind of a grit to it.
Ugly81 said haha hi.
Hey Ugly, how you doing?
At the model student 20 said I like the way it's working for you. I only have a couple of AK splatter effects right now. Ugly81 said just sitting at home sick of flu or influenza.
Ugh, that's never good. Well, I hope you get well soon.
At the model student 20 said I have micro balloon snow. Ugly81 said thanks man.
I almost got some of the Vallejo snow stuff for this. I kind of want to do a snow scene. I really do. Yeah, I heard there's some nasty stuff going around lately. Hell, we got a guy here in Utah that caught the measles somehow.
At the model student 20 said hi ugly waving hand emoji.
I do have another set of these tires printed up for the C2.
At the model student 20 said that suits bud recover quick. Ugly81 said hello student O.
Yeah, if you couldn't tell, Ugly, we are simulcasting between YouTube and Twitch. Actually, aren't we coming up on about a year of doing the YouTube side? Maybe a bit longer?
Model student 20 said waving hand emoji.
So I'm gonna show you
At the model student
TwitchTube,
20 said
yep.
TwitchTube.
how you don't need to buy specialized spatter
Ugly81
effects.
said, haven't catched you live in ages, probably years.
I've been on at least twice a week. Ever since COVID, life's taken a couple weird turns, so it's kind of cut down on the streaming time, but we're slowly regaining that. It's good to see you, though. I'm glad you're still out there.
Ugly81 said I haven't been that active in Twitch for a while, life stuff.
That's kind of why I also do YouTube.
20 said, gotta be I found you on YouTube, been a sub for at least a year.
Yeah. But that's another reason I switched to YouTube, Ugly, is because Twitch seems to have plateaued for a lot of people. At least a lot of people like me who can't be on, 5-6 days a week, 8 hours a day. Well, like I said, I'm glad you're still out there. Well, I think real life has also gotten the better of a lot of people. Like, I changed jobs 2 years ago. 2.5 almost now. Left my other job at 14 years. But it was for the better. For me, at least. Okay, so that's the base mud down.
20 said for a guy with a life, you build an extraordinary number of quality builds.
Well, it's what I do, you know.
One said seems good.
You know, other people, they come home and play video games for 6 hours a day. I don't build for 6 hours a day, but I'm usually down here puttering around, arranging stuff. I'll be doing laundry, vacuuming, cleaning, but I always come back 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there. Bada boom, bada bing. Okay, now, you mentioned...
Student 20 said it sure is.
You mentioned spatter effects. By a very bad word. I want to give you an example of the finished look first, and then I'll show you how I do it. What if I told you you don't need specialized spattery paints?
At the model, student 20 said eyes emoji.
See if we can look up in that rear wheel well there. Autofocus, you want to play with us today or no? No, it doesn't. And this is just a light version of it. Is it coming through at all? There we go. Look around the wheels, especially up in the wheel wells. And this one I kept it more subtle. But you can also see it on the inside of the hood. If the camera wants to behave. Well, you should be able to, but... yeah. So we're going to get our old friend... Oiled Earth out because it is a bit darker and we want it to stand out on this. I really shouldn't do this yet because I haven't painted the colors of the lights, but we'll make an exception. Get something to stand it on. Now all you need is something firm like tweezers, old airbrush needle, piece of stretch sprue. We're using the Vallejo wash effects. If it's thin and it's paint, it can be used as a spatter effect. Actually, we're going to do this. We're not going to look at my crotch. Give me a second. They'll still scrub off. It's just what the white spirits do is they soften the paint just a little bit and allow it to kind of embed in. Okay, we're at the max of the digital zoom there.
Ugly 81 said gotcha.
That's why I don't bother with pigments. Everything you see me doing is either airbrush or all done physically.
20 said of crotch cam.
So then you take your tweezer and your brush with the fluid on it, and then just when it doesn't dry out. You spritz it. And I also chose a contrasting color for this, so it'll be easier to see. And I'm going to be going over it with both this and the other dust and dirt colors, just to give it a bit of variety. And you can do multiple passes as well to build it up. If you want the brush really loaded to give big spatters, or if you want to keep it, you know, really light to give smaller spatters. So that was just a quick pass. Did I spatter that all over the LAV? No, I didn't. Okay. It's alright if I did, I'll be doing it anyway. Once it's dry and the sheen's not there, but you can see how it's got that splashed up effect. You can do it with oils, so if you're doing an oil wash, you can do it that way. You know, lots of different ways of doing it. Set this back aside. Actually, I want to let that mud dry for a second, so let's get clear orange, clear red.
I got the splatter effects when I first started doing some weathering and thought I needed a special product for everything.
And that's just
I'm
it.
better now.
That's why I don't get the almost cult of personality surrounding certain products. Like, at one point in the early 2000s, did Mig just send a bunch of shit out to people who built models and they kissed his butt for more? Because it was just like overnight, MiG, AK, ammo, all exploded onto the scene one after the other because they were all started by the same guy as he would make a company, lose a company kind of thing. But the more I looked at them, I'm like, I'm already doing that stuff in one way or another without having to buy a specialized paint or product. And I could never figure it out, and it still bewilders me. Yeah, the only thing I don't like about this is I feel when I dry brushed it with the base color, I went a little too harsh on it. So I'm going to think of a way to rectify that. I don't know how yet. Maybe I can tone it down a little bit with the washes. Or go back with the base colors for the other patterns and kind of tone it back. I'll figure it out. Not every model's perfect, and not everyone has to be.
At the model student 20 asks maybe a filter?
That would shift all the colors too much. It would shift them all, and that edge highlight would still be there too dramatically.
model student 20 said, "Aw, gotcha."
But you see how that's dried now and you're not getting the reflective part of it? But you can see the spatters really well. I wanted to get these lights and reflectors painted first though, so as I do it, if it lands on it, it feels natural. So there we got an example of before and after.
The model student 20 said, "Well, I guess that tears at bad edges."
Yep, gotta throw it out, start over.
On the floor laughing emoji.
Yeah, I'm starting to drag ass on this one. I think I'm burnt out on building these little guys, especially since I built this one in 2 hours.
At the model student 20 said, "I think it's looking dope."
Well, yeah, it looks fine, just... I think I just overdid it on the dry brushing, so I'm probably just going to go back with the base color, like the mahogany, and do a lighter pass of it. Okay. While those lights dry... Why did I put the orange away? There. And I know I use a lot of Vallejo stuff. It's because I have been able... I'm not sponsored in any way, for one. Two, it's locally available, or it's available on Amazon really fast if I need it. So I know it's compatible with what I'm already using. And using it feels more intuitive. And as you can see, you don't have to stick to using it just one way. You can repurpose it. You can do other things. You're not stuck, okay, this is your mud, only mud.
Model student 20 said it does have, I guess, a bit of that Warhammer edge highlight kinda sort of thing. Vallejo.
Yeah, Tamiya, again, I use it because it's hardy and it's locally available. And it's what I'm used to. The same processes I use for these, I used on my Testors acrylics, I used on the Poly S and Flowcoil growing up. I didn't have to relearn how to use the materials. The only thing I had to learn with Vallejo, especially back in the early days, is it was a bit more of a fragile paint until it had fully cured for about a week. But they've gotten a lot better now. And seeing this Netto green in opposition to the Tamiya one, I think I'm going to be sticking with this one from now on. It reads better to my eyes. Not that that's anything to go by, they're going bad, so... Okay. So let's do our little test. Where is my European dust? There it is. And a little bit of a dry brush highlight isn't terrible. I just think I went a little too far on that. But nobody's perfect, and there's more than one way to skin a cat or paint a model or whatever verbiage you want to use. But yeah, I want to see how the European dust reacts with
At the model student
this
20 asks,
mud.
was that the Vallejo green?
Yes. Of course. There we go. $10. Ready to go right out of the bottle. Airbrush it away. Yeah, I like how the orange nature of this gets toned down by that mud. That feels really good. Another thing you have to consider.
Model student 20 said I can get that at my Wargaming hobby store.
Yeah. So especially when you do your Grizzly, I know it's only 6-wheeled as opposed to.
At the model student 20 said the
Yeah.
NATO green that is.
I know what you meant. The front wheels steer, so you can get spatter up in this way. So from here forward. The back wheels don't. You'll still get a little on the sides just because of, spatter. But here, say you're turning to go right, that means the back side of the wheel is coming around this way from the outside, so you're going to get more toward the front of the vehicle. And just work it slow. You don't even have to do it in one pass. Would help if I wasn't blinding myself with the chrome.
Yeah, good point.
I'm sure you've seen the video of the Marine who took one of these off right out of the motor pool and straight across the grass, and you've got a bunch of people like, not the grass! And it's amphibious, so if it goes into a rough river or something, splash, shit's gonna wash off, it goes up the other side, it's gonna get mud in the wheels getting out of the river, it's gonna get flung everywhere.
At the model student 20 said I saw that.
I need a larger brush again. Or more voluminous brush. Okay. I don't know if the Canadian ones are, but I know ours are. I think the Australian ones are too. Actually, I wanted to look at something while this side dries. I want to keep it kind of on its side like that. I really need to clean my desk again. I got too much stuff. Give me a second. Hi, Frank.
Ugly81 said 4 bow is the best color to try to make color accurate lol.
Forbio, refresh my memory on that one. Sounds familiar, but I can't remember it. It's not that really brown.
Ugly81 said the Russian
Oh.
green.
No, that's the color I don't worry about because it can be any green.
Ugly81 said that had no official formula because they just had
Yeah,
acid
exactly.
at the time.
As long as it looks close to what's in your pictures, you're good. I know I keep pulling this book out. It is a great resource, for me at least. Oh look, our favorite vehicle. And study pictures like this. Like, you see how on this, even the top of the hood's all dusty. But look at the bed. You can see where above the wheels it's got more dust and dirt accumulation than, say, here. And then look at the 5-ton fuel truck there. There we go. Just an example. This is more dust and splashed mud. Well, just look how covered those things are. These weren't doing a lot of river crossings, though. I think I know what we're going to do with the C2. I mean, hell, look at the difference in these two M113s. I'm just going to bring the camera closer. So there's no wrong. It's just how much do you want to do? But I was going to look up Canada real quick. It's either this one or the other volume, which is falling apart. It's this one. 222. Here we go, and front page. So the Canadian ones are amphibious. But yeah, look at this one. A little study in weathering on that right there. The whole back half of it's just covered in dust from getting kicked up. Anywho. Good luck if you can find those books cheap now, though. No, any kind of Russian vehicle, I just call it the anything goes green.
At the model student 20 said it's like our main vehicle.
It's not a bad vehicle. I like how that kind of leveled down. We'll be putting more treatments, I guess you could call it, on. But I want to get the base area behind the tires done before I glue the tires on. Because I didn't get the mud all over the place, like you can still see some hollows in the paint there. But with this, you can give the impression of the dust like you saw in those pictures. So you've got the thrown dirt and mud thrown up in there, and then the dust that gets in there between it. You see so many other times people do mud on vehicles, and it's like, how much mud do you want? Yes. And that's not always the case. Less is more. And sometimes less is better. What the fuck? Uh-oh. Allie's got the zoomies. Because it's easier to add more than it is to take off the excess. And you can be patchy with it too, just to give it a bit of variety.
Leo2A7BK said really nice mud effect. As you say, add it time to time. Let it dry. Add some more if needed.
Yep, work it in layers. And one thing I've always said since this channel started, when you're working on models, that is the key thing. Let it dry. Especially if you're unsure of something. You don't know if it's going to work out the way you expect. But we are going to get a bit stupidly slathery here for a sec. Just because I want to tone it and add it all kind of together. Try and get this in around as much as I can. And try it yourselves. Don't take my word for it. Even if you don't have these acrylic washes or anything, just thin out some acrylic paint till it's like the consistency of this wash, and just try flicking it, you know? If you have a color you want to try it out and make it look like mud or leaking hydraulic fluid or what have you, just give it a shot. It might perform a little differently in terms of how it goes, because this is formulated to have a surfactant in it that kind of allows it to flow a bit more. But overall, the idea is the same.
At the model student 20 said my chats aren't getting through if I mentioned our country.
The last chat I saw from you was the NATO green, that is. Oh yeah, good point. I saw that. And then it's like your main vehicle. If you've said anything since then, I hadn't seen it. Sorry. Maybe you're getting censored. I don't know. I'm just being a smart aleck. I really don't know. So now I feel safe in being able to glue the wheels on. Once that dries up for a bit. But even here, if you look, where you saw me spattering right there, it's barely perceptible.
At the model student 20 said twice if I spell Russian with a capital it won't put a grinning face with sweat emoji.
Leave the A out and make it seem like you're saying, oh, you're rushing it. Or just say rushing, and I'll know what you're talking about. So I'm going to use just this regular dust effect. It's called... the label's over it. Actually, so I don't spill this brand new bottle of dust effects everywhere. It's called desert dust, but every place I've ever seen a vehicle get muddy and dirty, there always seems to be this lightish, yellowish, dusty color on it, no matter what you do. So I'm going to use, and contrast is always good. You don't have to have a specific, you know, this is Albanian mud from a fresh farmer's field. You don't need any of that crap. You just need a contrasting color that looks mostly right. You mean it won't let you talk about the Rwandan genocide? What's wrong with YouTube? And heck, there was a movie made about it with Forrest Whitaker. Let's see how that went. See if it's any more noticeable than... Yeah, you can see on the front there. Just slowly build it up. Plus, another thing that book is good for is it shows you that, you know, when the mud's really, really wet, it is that darker, orangey, European earth color. But when it dries, it goes a lot lighter. So we're kind of using that to work towards this and how we're doing the spattering. And you don't want to have the brush full. I'm using the foam from the bottle where I've shaken it. And it gets the brush just wet enough to do it.
DK said yes, and armies today tend to keep their vehicles in nice order. That is, unless in Monwers. Love the mess.
Maneuvers and exercises are where the big screw-ups usually happen. Because I hate to say it, a lot of these guys are doing hold my beer type shit when the NCOs aren't really around. Yeah, crap happens downrange, but it happens more when you're training. One of these days, I'd really like to do an M60 in full miles gear. So the Hoffman device, the LED, or the orange flashy light, all that. Like a reforger exercise. Yeah, you can see how it's building up on the lower part of the trim vane there. Because when this goes in the water, this whole front plate comes up. It's called the trim vane. But you can see how it slowly builds up and starts adding that dusty lower look. And you can even do a pass, just fully paint the panel with this stuff to give it like a base dusty tone, like a filter, and then go back and do the spattering to really, you know, bite it in. But that mud's staying a little tackier than I like. But I might take the airbrush and mist on some dust. Let's do that. There's my dusty color. Yep.
At the Model Suite employee said that looks new. I found a couple cool books recently. A-D-Day Invasion Photo Book and a World War II Luftwaffe Squadron Markings Book. Some of those schemes boil. Leo 2A7DK said A1 or A3.
I'm thinking a late A3 with an M8 dozer, but still in the brown and green with crow's feet camo.
Leo 2A7DK said
Oh, what? Is that very specific, or am I just being weird? But I want to have the Velcro strips with the miles detection dots all over it. You know, everything. I want everything.
At the model student 20 said those big dozers are awesome. Meng make a nice one.
And
2A7BK said that would be an army one.
yeah,
Am I bonkers?
Army, Germany, 84, 85. Yeah, the Marines only used the A1. They had the TTS, not the oh, what was the other system called? And I'm being very light with this. I've got some thinned down sand colored paint for the dust. And the thing is, I'd probably have to go with the Meng one, because both Academy and Tamiya failed to complete the M8 dozer parts for the M60. So they don't have the hydraulic lines, they don't have the box on the rear left fender, none of that. Ooh, that was close. And we're just using some highly thinned out sand buff, and we're just throwing it in the mix here. And always concentrate the higher amounts of it towards the rear of the vehicle, as that's where the sand, or that's where the dust kicks up and swirls around behind it and collects. There we go. I'd also like to do a an Operation Just Cause M551 Sheridan. I'm just going to give the whole vehicle's top just a really almost invisible dusting. There we go. I think the camera's grabbing it more than the eye. Hi, Allie. You done running your little butt off? Because if you do this right as well, and you get the paint on there thin enough and dry enough, get a little water here and see if it works. Just straight water, nothing else. Sometimes the modeling gods will smile on you. And if you use a damp brush, drag it down, and then let it dry again, it might impart some rain streaks in that. And sometimes it doesn't, but that's alright, because you can use the other stuff to make rain streaks too. But you can see how that looks overall dustier now. Let's do the fling thing again and see what happens.
Leo2A7DK said M551 is super sweet. Sadly, up the sicking systems when switching from 152mm in Sheila.
They actually had a fix for that, and it was basically sticking a piece of thick foam on the inside cover of the electrical box that controlled the targeting system. Because whenever they'd fire the shillelagh, it would knock the circuit cards loose. And I know a lot of people would paint the tools. In this case, they are the same pattern as the vehicle. I might chip them up a little bit just to make them pop out. But overall, they'd be the same color as the vehicle they're on. Yeah, but weathering like this to me is fun, because you go in light passes and just let it work, let it build up. Next pass will be with a different color, and then you can see how that worked. Add more of the original one, add some more of a darker one.
Leo2A7DK said I really have an eye for the Tamaya one. Vietnam or Iraq? Moms.
The one that I would want would be the Iraq version, because it just got updated right in '89 before it went to Panama, and then those were sent to Iraq. And honestly, I'd want to get the Academy one. But I am not paying $80 for the Ryefield one. Holy crap, that's expensive for a Sheridan. Okay, let's do another pass on the front there. And I'm all about spending good money on the hobby, but that's a bit much. Hi. Come here. Up. Up, up. Ellie, up. Come on. Ellie, up. Because I believe in the early 2000s, Academy did a series of new tool Sheridans. I don't know if Tamiya ever updated theirs.
Green Element said Alex just spent $30.
Alex!
My
My wife's probably upstairs getting nuts because she gets a notification every time that happens too.
$30.
Thank you very much.
Why not? We only live twice.
Okay, you pick. Which one? Sheridan or M60? Or the Trumpeter SA-10 Strela SA-13 Gopher. I mean, we have been doing a lot of American vehicles lately. I've got 2 more on the way, and the World War II German one. So why don't we throw a little Russian in the mix? I'll let you pick. Then we'll find it on eBay or Amazon and get it on the way. Well, once the... I have to have that in my account first, but you know what I mean. I have to transfer it. Oh wait, it's in PayPal, so yeah, eBay I could use it.
Model student 20 said boo Alex. Man dancing emoji.
Well, I do appreciate Alex doing it. He's not the only one here. No, I do not.
Said you know not to ask me that. Probably send you some more love from here.
No, it's not a requirement. I do appreciate it when Alex does it, but it's not a requirement for the channel at all. I'm just being sarcastic. Ignore the man behind the curtain. Actually, we're gonna throw some more... No, we're gonna go oiled earth on the very belly. No, but tell me which one you would like to see, Alex. And it doesn't have to be today. I can...
Model student 20 said I'm broke buying models.
I know. That's why I said I was being sarcastic. There is no actual seriousness about that at all. You guys hanging out here is more than enough. Anything like what Alex is doing is just, you know, extra. I can turn it around into something you guys want to see me do, or you can just help keep the supplies like this coming. I just hope I'm giving you guys useful information on how to... I don't want to see it be more budget-minded, but, you know, just how to use your stuff differently. And the music stopped. Have we already been... Oh, wow, we're coming up on 3 hours. Looks like today's going to be a normal stream. Got half an hour still. Let's get some music in here just to finish. Ooh, off. What do I feel like listening to?
At the model student 20 said it's a very nice thing, Alex. I think so anyway. Leo 2A7DK said I just love when you blow our minds with the down-to-earth tech you use. And beside that, you are a great guy. Thanks.
Thank you very much for that. Well, and it's something that's really been in my craw for, like, I hate to say it, the past 20 years. Because you see all these other channels, and I'm not naming any one channel, but they're all about the wonder fluids, the mystery bottles, you know, or not mystery, but you know, they don't. How can I say this? And I know I kind of said it the other day, but it's a different context now.
20 said here, here.
They're setting the expectation that you must buy something made specifically for that effect in order to do that effect. When you don't, and sometimes you can actually get a better effect by not using said thing. Like that video where the guy uses the asphalt stuff. By the end of the video, why did he use the asphalt stuff when he could have just used, I don't know, plaster and got the same end result? And it's not to say that the asphalt material doesn't have its uses, but for the sake of what was done there, it felt like it was pointless because of how covered over it got with other things.
At the model student 20 said it freaks new modelers out trying to make a budget starting out. I know it did me.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm trying to do here is, you know, spend the money where it matters. Buy the good kits. Buy decent paints. You know, you don't need, you know, the acronym name brand paints. You can buy Vallejo. You can buy Tamiya. You can get good results with testers, for crying out loud. But just because you see all the influencer channels name whoring it doesn't necessarily mean you need to get it. A lot of times that stuff will set you back in frustration because there's certain, and there is a certain skill gap. And correct me if I'm wrong. There is a certain skill gap where you guys are sitting here watching me do this stuff with these things. These are no different than thin paint, really. Maybe I should do one and just go old school without these and use the older methods I would have used, using artist oils and just the paints and not these more specialized things. Maybe I should, you know, put my money where my mouth is and actually do an old school 90s level build using nothing newfangled outside of the paint to put on the model, right? You can kind of see how it's all starting to come together. Helps if I have it in camera. And don't worry about where I'm holding it here, that's all going to be covered by wheels anyway. But maybe that's what I could do, is just get a decent little model. You know what? I'm going to do it with the LAV C2. It's a basic kit like this, so it's a no frills build in that regard. But I can show you how I used to do everything I'm doing on this, but with more basic technique materials, more easily accessible materials too. And I know it sounds crazy, you can use wall spackling for mud.
At the model student 20 said my first weathering was some metallic drywall and a thin black wood. So the build I was on worked fine.
Yeah, and for the skill set you were probably at the time, you were, you were perfectly happy with it, And I'm not knocking beginners builds,
At the model student 20 said a bare knuckle build.
But yeah, a bare knuckle build. So I think that's what I'll use the LAV C2 for. And I'll put it out there. Maybe you can just put it in my community page. Do you want it really muddy or just more dusty like what we saw in the pictures from Bosnia? Or muddy like this, or even, I don't want to say even more, because they really didn't get those too dirty. But yeah, do you want it like this, or a bit more restrained? Exactly, Alex. But that's what I want to do, is I want to show that you don't need bottles of miracle fluid, right?
I started using drywall compound and grout mixed for groundwork.
So for groundwork, that's okay. The drywall compound and grout are too macro, too rough, right? I'm talking about environmental effects on the vehicle itself. You wouldn't want to use the grout. It's still too rough. It would be like if you put mud on the vehicle and then threw gravel into it on a scale-wise side, right? And that's the thing I'm always thinking about when I'm doing this, is the scale of what I'm working in. And I just go to the dollar store and get spackling compound. It doesn't have aluminum in it, because if you go and get like the more professional level 3M stuff, it's actually got metallic binders in it that even after you mix it together, you can see it sparkling in the mix. So I get the stuff from the dollar store, but the other benefit is you can thin it down and also do flicking with it to get like really well spattered mud. That's something I haven't tried with this new stuff, which is kind of a technique I've lost. So I might do that. I might take a step back and do it strictly 90s, where outside of the base paints, which Tamiya's would be acceptable then, but even Vallejo I could use. Outside of the base paint, every other technique will be something from the 90s. Artist oil washes, airbrushing, pastels, not pigments, but pastels. Graphite rubbing for metallics. You guys have got me thinking about something now where I'm onto something with this. And then we can see how it compares with like the
model student 20 said plaster of Paris and paint.
Plaster of Paris gets too hard. And once you wet it, you can't store it, where the spackling compound retains its moisture and remains damp as long as the package is sealed. There's something about the spackling compound that works differently than plaster and grout and other things like that. Yeah, the plaster, there's uses for it, don't get me wrong. But for what I'm going to show you, it has to be the spackling.
Stream Elements said stupid Dane just
Jeez, Alex, you got my juices going now. But yeah,
At the model
Tip
student 20
$30.
said true
Going to
dad.
the store again. Man, I can't keep up with you.
no, that's it for today. Anyway, we're about to wrap up regardless. But no, you guys have got me going, because I know I talk a lot about it, but I want to put my money where my mouth is and do this. I want to do it to a level that shows exactly what I'm talking about. I want to demonstrate what I'm talking about in how I used to do this before all these, you know, pre-made muds and stuff like this came out. No, Alex, I'm gonna get... I know we talked about the M60 and the Sheridan. I'll have to see how much transfers over after PayPal takes their chunk. I'm thinking the SA13, if I can find one low enough. Because I want to do the SA13 as it looked in Behind Enemy Lines, and have the guy with the Dragunov and the tracksuit sitting on it. That was always a striking image from that film to me, and it makes sense. But yeah, I'm going to show you what I used to do to get these very same kind of effects. Sometimes I think possibly even better. So yeah, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and on the LAV C2, which should be here next week, let me look.
The model student 20 said, "Follow your heart." Lol.
Yeah, the half track will be here Saturday. The LAV is still moving. I think it just left China. It could arrive between the 17th and December 31st. So I don't know exactly when that'll be here. Let's see where it says. Yeah, as of today, it's still in China. But I'm gonna make a list of everything I need to do the LAV C2 with nothing more modern than you would have had in, let's say, 1999. No more modern techniques than anything there. MiG didn't really exist to the world. You know, you had Verlinden, Shep Payne, Tony Greenland. You had all these other modelers and how they did it, because that's how I did it. I learned from them, and that's how we're gonna play this. I might even get a book. Yeah, you guys have got me in a mood and onto something, and I hope it can. I like this. So thank you for the motivation on an idea. Oh, and I still have the AAV coming too. Jesus, I've got 3 models on the way already. But yeah, I'm definitely thinking the SA13 and not the skiff one. It's got to be the new trumpeter one. I'm not about to try building that skiff one again, even though I did a decent job.
At the model student,
Okay, let me see real quick. Actually, I can show you something from the time when I did that.
At the model student 20 said, "Yeah, but y'all can build them so fast."
Not the AAV. The tracks have separate pads. Right here. This is the skiff kit. I gave it to an Army helicopter maintenance technician. And the first pics show it finished. It's in check markings. But as you scroll down, you can see everything that I put into it.
Would like to spend some time in a hobby room with you. Like your spirit, we all have some down times. Please, that like this.
So follow this link, and
Builder sent a link.
that should go to the Strela.
4071
And you'll see the amount of work I had to put into the skiff kit to get it looking even halfway decent, because it was missing that much detail. But you'll start. But if you look at like the tracks and the road wheels, that was weathered using my thinned down mud mixture based on the wall spackling and paints. It's not as thick and heavy, but if you look at some of the lower shots, you can see where I've got it like smeared into the lower hull and things like that. Especially on the back where it's kicked up. And I did that back in, I want to say 2009. So yeah, I wouldn't mind another crack at that. But tell me what you think of that. And that's with the old techniques, and I think I even didn't go as far as I could now with some of the new methods I've got, regardless of the mediums I'm working in.
2A7BK said, another target for a Ukrainian boat. At the model student 20 said tons of scratch on that.
That's how basic the kit was. But yeah, we're gonna let this sit for a while and let that mud mixture cure up a bit. Especially considering I went back over it with the wash before it was fully dry, and I spattered it. But you can really see how it's starting to pick up on the lower hull right there, if it stops focusing on my thumb.
At the model student 20 said added details are awesome.
There you go. But yeah, I wanna put my money where my mouth is, because I think there's some people who come across these and they hear me talk like that and they're like, well, he's full of shit. No, I'm gonna show it. I'm gonna show it. Gotta brush off some old skill sets, but we're gonna do it, and I'm gonna stream it every second of it, so no one can say, oh, off stream he did this with this. No, I'm gonna show it all live. But thanks everybody for watching. Alex, thank you for spoiling the hell out of me today. I was not expecting that. So if I can find the Strela within a decent price, because they're going for stupid money right now for some weird reason. If not, then probably gonna go with the M60 with the dozer blade and do that one up in miles gear. But yeah, the next LAV is going to be the 90s method build. What, Marmar? I know, I'm wrapping up soon, then we can go bug mommy about dinner.
Leo 2A7BK said love you.
Thank you very, very much. And let me know if you're ever coming here. You got a place to stay. I don't know where I'll be when you do that, but
Student 20 said, well, you have that comfortable wealth of knowledge that makes learning a breeze.
well,
Awesome stream.
and that's the thing. I'm still always learning, because I'm looking at what products are out there that I want to use, because I've sampled the AK and the MiG stuff. I don't like it. It's counterintuitive to how I do things. It's not compatible. That's the easiest way to explain it. It's not compatible for me. And that's what I'm looking for here, is compatibility, what works. And this is based on those older techniques. So when I see the Vallejo stuff, I don't see it as being like the MiG or AK. I see it as being like the methods I used to use with the wall spackling and the paint and debris for thickening and things like that. There's that comfort zone, but it's also materials made the way I like. So yeah, if I'm not back on again by Sunday, my next day off is Monday, and then after that it's Friday. I want to try and be on either tomorrow or Saturday if I can. But we'll have to see. It's, yeah, Friday's a late day, and then Friday through Sunday we're expecting a really nasty snowstorm. So I'm gonna play that by ear and see how things die at work, and if I get sent home early, and how bad the traffic is and all that. So gonna play it by ear after tomorrow. But if you don't see me by Saturday, then I'll be on Monday. But thank you again, everybody, for hanging out and coming by. And I will see you all the next stream. And I'm going to start making a list of what I need to do the 90s technique build. Got to come up with a better name than that. Old School Slam? I don't know. Think of something and put it in the community tab.
Model student 20 said I'll keep an eye out. Stay
Oh,
safe.
I'll be putting stuff in the community tab saying when I'm going to be starting that one, because I think you want to join in. As far as construction, nothing new, nothing different. There was liquid cement back then. There's liquid cement now. So base construction, the only thing I might do different is I'll use the liquid glue method for doing the anti-slip
7DK said, "Keep up your nice
instead
work."
of doing Mr. Surfacer.
Fun.
Because the Surfacer I really didn't get until the late early 2000s, so 8, 9, 10 area. But yeah, if I don't see you before then, I will see you all Monday. Thank you very much again. And you'll have a good night, stay safe, and get some rest, everybody. Take it easy. The holidays are up. We have 21 sleeps, guys. 20 more sleeps.